Hello, welcome to McBoss Capital channel here. My name is Michael Chu. This is the video for recap for the US stock market for the week ending September 19, 2025. We are past the halfway mark of September. Obviously going into September, the average worst month of the year. We were anticipating some sort of, pullback or something, but we haven't got that so far. Here's a weekly chart of the Nasdaq Composite. Instead, we're seeing acceleration in the index right now, which is very fascinating, especially in the tech area. It all started from when about Oracle reported that day. Things really fly after that for some of the tech stocks, especially areas that are kind of related to AI, of course, right? We are in 24 weeks up now, which is the longest rally we've seen since the 2022 bottom on October, and this is yeah, the longest rally, 24 weeks up. So and the crazy thing is we are seeing many stocks extended. Of course, there's lots of stocks that are extended, but we also seeing the underlying breadth starting to pick up as well as setting up like a lot of stocks are building bases on the right side right now. They're not your, the top stocks, but they're the other variety stocks that are selling up, which kind of give me a sense that this market might have more leg to go, right? And especially this week, after the Fed announcement, we saw a big jump on the market follow through as well. So so here's the chart on the daily. Here's the pullback on Wednesday after the Fed announcement, but it was able to close near the top of the range, and then we follow through on Thursday and Friday, which tells me that there's way more buyers than sellers and pushing the price up, and also Friday was a quadruple witching expiration for options and futures, and look at the volume. So with so much volume, let's come to this spreadsheet I have here. Here it shows the market and confirmed uptrend, most in general, like still 80 to 100% allocation by IBD. We did have a minor distribution day on Wednesday after that Fed meeting announcement because it was down and volume came up. But again, we followed through Thursday, Friday, stock rally to new highs, stock and winning streak week at record highs, right? We did see, the accumulation distribution side on the stocks. We see, Thursday, Friday, it pick up significantly. But very interesting, on Friday, even though, it pick up on the accumulation side, but the distribution side also went up as well. So that is very interesting. So not all are equal. It's a quite significant jump too. So this is 441 stocks being distributed versus 461 stocks being accumulated. On the industry group, actually there's more industry groups being sold off than being accumulated. So again, not all are equal. So there's really two different tales here, right? On the sector side, we see technology significantly jump on Thursday, Friday as it picked up throughout the week as well. Last week we saw the Oracle news and it jumped there 52, and then this week we jumped to a high of 90. So this is net accumulation minus distribution. So the number of stocks that are accumulated minus the number of stocks being distributed. So net positive, right? Uh, on the other sectors, you can see it actually went down. Like retail actually got sold off. Industrial, kind of, yeah, negative, right? Health also negative, despite gold being up on Friday. And that's one of the stronger sectors. But other areas are also not doing well. So it was up the whole week, and then Friday it got pulled down quite a bit in terms of net accumulation minus distribution. And then financial, uh, we didn't see the bounce that we want to follow through on Thursday. It was green, and then again Thursday everything was green, but by Friday it kind of came back down again. So yeah, Nasdaq is showing lots of strength right now with the tech stocks area, but surprisingly we're not seeing as much strength in other areas. But with that being said, there's a mixed picture happening, and very surprisingly, like I said, Friday was definitely a pullback there for some areas, a lot of the air sectors. And I just want to see here, like how far it is extended. Like Nasdaq right here, if you look at the SMA in that box, 50-day moving average, which is red line, and just to see how far it is extended, because sometimes when you get to extended, it pull back. So it says right now 5.7% right here. So from here, this red line right here, this level 5.7%. It's not too extended, but we have seen like for example, like right here we see a pullback, right? And then right here we see a pullback, and right here we see a pullback. Anytime we get extended too far from the red line, we do see a pullback. So it's not super extended, but it is getting to that point. So let me just check here. Um, right here at the beginning of this big rally here, which is probably the biggest extension. Sorry. So right here it shows the S&P 50 is 10.1% extended right here. So that was definitely a lot bigger. And then here it shows 9.3%. So, definitely right now it's only showing 5.7%. So it could go, a few more percentage point before a pullback to happen, right? So just want to bring that up. So here's the S&P 500 weekly chart, also hitting new high right now. Here's the daily chart, also it bounced off on Wednesday, and we're starting to move higher. Here's the Dow Jones, also making new high here on the weekly chart. So this one also pulling back on the daily chart on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, surprisingly, it didn't go much down further. It was actually upward strength in the morning, and it was able to close in the upper range. And then Friday, we did make a new high. So perhaps the biggest news here on is Russell, because we have a new closing high and this is a big news for a lot of small caps. Very similar to Dow on Tuesday, it pulled back. Wednesday, it had a huge jump in the morning, but then it pulled back after the Fed news and closed at the lower range. But the Thursday was remarkable because we see the bounce right here, and it was very similar to the last Fed uh, announcement during the conference meeting on August 22nd. We had this huge 3.86% jump, and that was like basically the Fed announced that they're shifting their policy, and then on the actual Fed day on Wednesday, it did reverse at the beginning, but Thursday, we were able to get a better reaction to it, and 2.51%. Now Friday it did give back some, but because it is quite extended from this green line here, right? The short-term moving average 10-day. Here's the QQEW. It hasn't made new high yet, but it did bounce from Wednesday, making new recent high. And Thursday it followed through, and Friday, yeah, it mostly held the ground. Considering that Nasdaq was actually, yeah, it actually hold up pretty well. So it looks better. Here's RSP, the equal weight for S&P. This one, it bounced on Wednesday, but again, it closed at the bottom. Thursday, it didn't really make new high. Friday, it fall back a little bit, but still holding up against the 10-day. Both this and the other one, they're both near, new high ground. Here's a weekly chart. You can see it just hovering near the highs right now. Here's QQEW, and again also near the high ground. So they're both looking pretty good as it's setting up on the right side, breaking out to new high. Here's the general market indicator page from IBD newspaper. What we're seeing here is the NYSE advanced decline line down here. And this is compared to S&P 500 at the top here. So even though S&P 500 make a new high, the advanced decline line actually didn't make a new high on Friday. We actually, stopped at the week low there, at the low, near the low. So not a good sign. And then for Nasdaq, it's slightly better. We did have a new high on Thursday here, on the advanced decline line for Nasdaq, and Friday fall just a little bit. So Nasdaq acting actually For a long time, I usually see S&P advanced decline lines show better strength. As you can see, it keep making new high, but Nasdaq hasn't made new high. But this week, it actually made a new high compared to last week. So maybe the tide has turned a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. Because Nasdaq is showing broader strength right now. Here's a look at the innovator IBD 50 ETF. It make a very strong move this week. 2 weeks in a row, you can see that it really shows some strength. It might be a little bit extended at this moment from the 50-day 10-week moving average here, the red line. But yeah, it has shown really good strength here. On the daily chart, we see similar action. It bounced off the 10-day moving average and then followed through Thursday and Friday. So growth stocks are, at least at the top 50, are behaving pretty well right now. Very surprisingly, it started bouncing back on Wednesday after the Fed announcement. It's been hitting new lows recently, but then it has been climbing back. So, not sure if this is a concern for the market, but so far, it is still on a pretty big downtrend. Like, you can see the slope line right there. UUP US dollar also bounced back as well, pretty sharply as well. Now it's like near the red line again. Here's United States oil fund. For the oil price also coming down this week as well. Here's a look at the gold. The gold price it kind of fall on Wednesday, and then Thursday it fell a little bit, and then it bounced off the 10-day. Friday it kind of looks pretty good. Many gold stocks actually also bounced pretty big. Silver also doing pretty well, making new high here. Copper actually fell. It was climbing up and then it got rejected at the black line here, 200-day moving average. Yeah, now it did bounce back a little bit on Friday. Bitcoin slowly coming back a little bit. It's still kind of hovering near this red line here, short-term moving averages there. And Ethereum also pretty much also just coming back to the short-term moving average here. The S&P Flash US Service Manufacturing readings on Tuesday, new home sales on Wednesday. The third estimate of third quarter GDP comes Thursday. Friday, we will see the release of personal consumption expenditure for August. That's going to be an important inflation gauge. And we have Micron technology reporting this week, Jabil and Costco coming up. See the WenX Semiconductor ETF here doing really well, also making new high following very similar action like the index are. Here's the daily chart. We also see the bounce off on Wednesday after the Fed meeting, and then Thursday we had a huge jump. Friday, it didn't move much, but it didn't close that bad, right? It's able to hold on to those gains and not undercut Thursday's low. So Nvidia here, it is building a nice flat base right now. Wednesday, it went down. I think there was news this week that the China will ban the Nvidia chips or something like that, and yeah, the stock did fall apart a little bit. But it did pick itself up by the end of the week. Thursday, Friday was able to bounce back and hold this short-term moving average around this level here. So perhaps we may see a move soon. You can see this downtrend line at the top here. So we do break above that. That might be a very positive development. Here, Broadcom is actually pulling back pretty strongly here. Looks very weak right now. It didn't bounce on Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. All 3 days were red. AMD doing the same thing here. Not doing very well. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday were all red days despite the market being up. TSM, it did bounce pretty heavily on Thursday. On Friday, it was able to hold at least half the gains from Thursday, so looks okay. Perhaps one area that we're seeing strong move is the software area. IGV here breaking out, looks really good. This is a very tight base here, and here's the nice cup with handle pattern on the daily chart. This being the handle right there, and yeah, we were able to fall through Thursday and Friday. So here's Microsoft. Microsoft, was pulling back, correcting, and this base is roughly 11%. So it's not that big. So it's considered a flat base. and now it's starting to ride on the right side. And Friday it has a, Wednesday, Thursday it didn't move at all, which is not surprising, but Friday it did at least come out to a new recent high. Google continues to be the dominant mega cap here. It making new high. This chart is just a nice 45-degree angle slope here, and on the weekly chart you just see it just really taking off right now. Meta is trying to come back on the right side as well, slowly. It's again where it looks like they're all building this nice flat base here. It didn't bounce too much though on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. But nonetheless, it's still above the short-term moving average. And then we have Amazon. Amazon, yeah, it was able to uh, just didn't move as much as well. So this one actually looked like weaker because it still have this downward trend line, although it's finding support at the lows here as well. Apple, they did announce on Friday some news that they told some suppliers that they want to increase production, so that make this stock, bounce and come out of this new area here. So making a new recent high looks pretty good. It's been choppy for a long time. It is now, this was a huge correction, 35%, and now it's coming back on the right side of the base here. Tesla continued to show strong momentum after breaking out right here. Now we are 2 weeks now after that breakout, and it's looking pretty good. It's holding up near the highs here, and yeah. And then we have Netflix. Netflix really haven't done much in the last month. It's just trying to build this base, but it's just taking a long time. So it still haven't make a move yet. Some of this move here, like this week, you can see it was trying to come out, but it just came back down again. So overall, very healthy market in general. We're seeing all the indexes hitting new highs this week, and Russell, make a new closing high. So really, really good positive development. Hopefully, we will see more stocks getting set up going forward, which could, prolong this rally even more. Please watch my next video come out, hopefully later. Um, on my list of growth stocks. We'll cover there's lots of growth stocks right now that are moving. So you definitely don't want to miss this. And please like and subscribe. Hope you guys all have a good weekend.